This is Packers Nation HQ, and today I want to break down exactly what this moment means for the Green Bay Packers, because what we witnessed against the Chicago Bears wasn't just a playoff loss. It was a seismic collapse that forces this franchise to look directly at who it is right now, and who it still claims to be. And before I go any further, if you're here because Green Bay matters to you, if this team is part of your Sundays, your winters, your family history, I want you to subscribe to Packers Nation HQ, hit that like button, and drop a comment below. This channel exists for Packers fans who want real analysis, not hot takes, and your engagement is what keeps this community alive, especially after a loss like this. From my perspective, this was one of the most emotionally jarring losses I've ever watched as someone who studies this franchise deeply. The Packers didn't just lose a playoff game. They blew a 21-3 lead, at home, in Lambeau Field, on the Frozen Tundra, against the Chicago Bears, a rival that defines eras in Green Bay history. That alone changes the gravity of everything that followed. This wasn't a fluke ending or a last-second heartbreak. This was a slow, visible unraveling that unfolded over an entire half of football, and it demands accountability. What I see when I watch this game back is a team that executed at a championship level for 30 minutes, and then completely lost its offensive identity. The first half was everything Matt LaFleur wants his offense to be. Scripted drives, balance, rhythm, confidence. Jordan Love was decisive. The offensive line was creating movement. Josh Jacobs was punishing defenders in the wide zone scheme. Chicago looked overwhelmed. 3 drives, 3 touchdowns, total control. And then halftime happened. I don't think this gets talked about enough, but great coaching isn't just about designing plays, it's about anticipating resistance. Ben Johnson and the Bears adjusted. They crowded the box, disguised coverages, and forced Green Bay to win in tighter windows. That's when the Packers needed counters. They needed answers. They needed evolution within the game. Instead, the offense stalled. Jordan Love is not the villain of this story. In my opinion, he played one of the more composed playoff games you'll see from a young quarterback. His pocket presence remained steady even as protection deteriorated. He didn't panic. He didn't force reckless throws. His stat line doesn't scream collapse, the offense around him does. The offensive line, particularly on the left side, began to crack. Rasheed Walker was put in impossible situations as Chicago started sending pressure from angles Green Bay didn't adjust to quickly enough. Once the Bears began winning first down, everything else unraveled. Josh Jacobs, who was gashing Chicago early, suddenly had no lanes. The wide zone blocking lost its leverage. And when this offense gets behind schedule, it loses its illusion of complexity, the very thing Matt LaFleur's system is built on. LaFleur's offense works best when defenses are guessing, when linebackers hesitate, when safeties take false steps. But once Green Bay became predictable, once second and long became routine, the Bears could sit in shell coverages and dare the Packers to execute perfectly. They didn't. A veteran NFC North scout told me after the game, once Green Bay stopped dictating terms, you could feel the air leave the building. Chicago knew exactly what was coming. That's a devastating indictment, because this offense is supposed to be about making defenses wrong, not comfortable. Special teams didn't help, and that's putting it kindly. Brandon McManus missing 3 kicks in a playoff game is catastrophic. That's a 7-point swing in a game decided by 4. In Lombardi's Green Bay, that's unacceptable. Period. But here's the uncomfortable truth. Special teams didn't lose this game alone. They simply exposed how fragile the margin had become. What haunts me most is that moment before halftime, when Matt LaFleur said the Bears are never out of it, emphasized continuing to run the ball, continuing to score. He knew what was coming. And yet, the response never arrived. This is where history matters. This franchise was built on Lombardi time, on finishing, on precision under pressure. Bart Starr didn't blink in moments like this. Brett Favre, for all his flaws, attacked fearlessly. Reggie White imposed his will when games turned. The Packers didn't just win championships, they defined what mental toughness looked like in the NFL. A Packers shareholder since the 1960s told me something that stuck with me deeply. He said, "I've seen losses before. I've seen heartbreak. But I've rarely seen a Packers team look unsure of itself at home in January." That cuts to the core of this moment. And yet, this isn't a hopeless roster. Jordan Love's progression this season is real. He finished the year with clear command of protections, improved red zone efficiency, and a willingness to take what defenses give him. From week 1 to the playoffs, his completion rate against pressure improved by nearly 8%. That matters. That's growth. Josh Jacobs brought physical credibility back to this offense. When Green Bay needed toughness, he delivered it all season. Jayden Reed continues to prove he's not just a gadget player. His versatility stresses defenses horizontally and vertically, and his route nuance is improving faster than people realize. But talent without alignment doesn't win championships. Matt LaFleur's future now hangs in the balance, and I don't say that lightly. This felt like the kind of loss that changes conversations behind closed doors. A Hall of Fame analyst, Pat McPherson, put it bluntly: when you lose control of a playoff game you dominated early, ownership has to ask whether the voice still carries weight. That's not noise. That's reality. Green Bay is a community-owned franchise, which makes moments like this even heavier. There's no billionaire owner to absorb blame. This belongs to everyone. And that means standards matter. The Bears' rivalry matters. Detroit Rising matters. The NFC North isn't waiting for Green Bay to figure itself out. This loss closes one chapter, but it opens another. An offseason filled with hard questions. Scheme adjustments. Staff evaluations. Draft priorities. Identity recalibration. What comes next will define whether this era becomes a bridge or a breakthrough. Because the Packers don't exist to simply compete. They exist to contend. 13 world championships don't allow for complacency. And no matter how painful this moment feels, the standard remains. From the frozen tundra to the future ahead, this is still Green Bay. Go Pack Go!